Knucklehead Nation. I'm Joey El Gallo. I'm here with Tommy, the Genie. Check us out on Facebook at
Facebook.com, The Loaded Globes.
And you can link to all our shows there. Knucklehead Nation.
Actually,
I have a dream.
Actually, you can't link, but that's...
Well, they'll figure it out. You can find our shows. Where can you listen to us?
You can listen to us on, we're on iTunes. We are the number 2 boxing show on iTunes. The first one, I'm not even going to mention.
Please, thank you.
We are on Google Play, SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, which we love TuneIn. We're on Spreaker, Stitcher, Static. We are, all 3 of the ones with the S's. We're on Spotify starting January 1st.
Oh, wow.
I forgot to tell you that.
That's a good one.
I finally got them to approve it.
That's a good one.
So we're going to be on Spotify. And we're also on the Univision page on Audio Boom.
Great. Univision, baby. That's
yes,
big time.
Univision.
Two gringos on Univision. So,
and we are all. That's about it. There's a lot of places.
And there's probably some.
There's a lot more. We're on we're on something called Podgruska in Russia, which I didn't sign up for. We're on something like a Chinese site. It's called something, I can't read Chinese because it's like these symbols, but I found this on some Asian podcast site. It was hijacked, but whatever. It's all free anyway, so enjoy. We don't charge.
That's true. We don't charge.
We have the most shows on iTunes. We're on page 2. We have 2 pages of shows. It's crazy.
They're all up there from the beginning?
Every single one. The first show we did, which is literally, because we were so bad at it back then, just called...
Oh, my God.
It's actually just called EP1, Episode 1.
I mean, so
let's hear about...
A few dreams.
Your dreams.
One of the dreams I have is for the judging system, and this is a dream to be fixed in boxing. I mean, could be an hour conversation, but I'll keep it short.
Well,
this year...
See, you used the wrong word because it is fixed.
Yeah. You're so right. It is fixed.
It is fixed.
And we saw some very controversial things this year, cards and...
That Adelaide Bird nonsense.
But, and the other ones were too, though. Whoever had a draw and having him up... that Triple G Canelo
you
fight.
Live with the draw, maybe, but having Canelo up by, what was he? She had him up by 8.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous, man.
And there was a bunch of other fights too. I know.
Oh, yeah.
Even the Joe Smith Jr. fight. They had him down or something like that, or even
last week. What's his name? Gamboa. Gamboa lost.
Yeah.
Sosa beat Gamboa.
Oh yeah, for
absolutely,
sure.
man.
That's right. And
he dropped him.
A part of me is that. First of all, they've lost so many fans for that reason.
Absolutely.
I mean, and also there's a lot of casual fans. The heavyweight division, discussion, which is a great one. But
no, it's terrible.
But
how do you fix it though?
How do you fix it? Let's see. You
can't go to the point scoring because then nobody will try to knock anyone out.
Right, and then they can't see CompuBox.
And
judges.
that's BS too. Look at Conlon's reaction in the Olympics when their Olympic system with the points is terrible.
But so the judges don't see the CompuBox and the fans see it on TV. I think a big problem too is the announcers.
Well, yeah, but
on HBO.
They can't really affect the decision, but they can affect the fans' perspective of fighters, which creates false. I guess, a fan base can be created by Jim Lampley, which is ridiculous.
Right.
A fighter can get fans not based on what he actually did in the ring, based on what Lampley's telling you he's doing in the ring. When he's not doing anything, he's not landing punches.
You know what it is too?
Pacquiao back in the day when HBO loved him because they've turned on him, which is shameful.
Yeah, because they want Terrence Crawford
to pumble shameful.
Him.
That Pacquiao, with all these Marquez fights and Barrera fights and knocking out Hatton and all these great fights, and HBO loved him and
all the money they made.
Oh, now he's not a draw anymore, so he has to go to ESPN. I mean, come on, man. That's another reason.
See, the problem is
HBO sucks.
The judging pool is so tainted already. You'd have to literally either not let the promoters pick the judges,
that's
or
a good one.
Just get a new judging pool. Just get new judges, literally. Get new judges and have them assigned by a body that, like, there's no, like, it's totally random. So, like, you don't know the judges going into the fight. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think
Floyd Mayweather, he knew who the judges were or who the referee was.
The referee,
too.
absolutely. But do you think, because this is one thing that I saw, actually, Al Bernstein was talking about, and that's, should judges from any of the fighting countries be allowed to judge? So if you've got a United States against Mexico, maybe you shouldn't have a Mexican or somebody from the U.S. judging.
Yeah.
There's enough international judges out there where you can get guys.
It's funny you mention that because I don't see a lot of foreign judges in U.S.
That's what I'm saying. You only see
can't remember the
French
last
judges
time.
Are staying in Canada. So who's going to get all the decisions?
Right, and then you get it, but then you'll have there's so many judges in the U.S. You'll get a U.S. judge in other countries. It's funny. It's funny you mention that because
there's something going on there.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that because, tour, I guess.
Yes.
So,
you got distracted by your judges now. You were talking about judges, but
you're right.
Apparently, someone's doing a tour.
But you're right.
Of our studio location. We got distracted.
You're right, though. I mean, it's always the same judges, and nothing happens to them. There's no repercussions ever. Even if they say they're going to do something, that the sport of boxing is, and it's that corruption at that Canelo level, that really just kills it for me. It hurts, and it a lot.
How would you feel it was a combination, like you take the judges? You take the fans voting on team. Like, can't that be influenced by the announcers?
Right.
Or you take, like, how about you have the pool of writers that are there, and so, like, let's say two judges give it for one guy, what? But if the writers chime in, all of a sudden now that'll override the one bad decision. Let's say perhaps like you
or
can't.
Do you do this?
Like I think writers know more.
Right. I agree.
Than judges. Judges are nobodies.
I was thinking about this. What if you? Because what are the three things? Ring aggression,
ring generalship,
ring generalship,
power punches, and then overall punch count, I guess,
and then whatever. So, I think instead of all three of them judging all three, one is responsible for each aspect of the fight, right? So one judge is only looking at ring generalship. The other judge is only looking at power punches landed.
That's good.
Right? And then you have someone, because like sometimes when the cards come out, it's like they watched a totally different fight than millions of people. And that's the problem. You have millions of people watching this fight, and they see, you and I know, we sat ringside for the Frampton Santa Cruz fight, and if you saw it on TV, you could have thought Leo Santa Cruz won that fight. But we were ringside, and we saw those power punches.
You heard the punches difference. You
Right.
heard Frampton's punches.
So
you couldn't. Santa Cruz wasn't hitting him hard.
So
that
who's
fight.
right then, though? Are the viewers wrong? Or are the judges right? But my thing is, you have a consensus of millions of people that say, no, Triple G won that fight. But then you have three judges at ringside who we definitely know it's a different fight ringside. But for the most part, you can kind of tell who wins. Like, you don't have to be a genius to see.
Obviously, there's close fights,
right,
that are tough to judge. The Ringvasi Roman first fight was tough. That was tough. But Canelo Triple G wasn't close, man. That wasn't.
But and then Kovalev won. Was the Kovalev first bad one in 2017? They fight twice.
Kovalev
in 2017, or was that Kovalev Ward? Were they both in the same year or no? Or was it 2016? I can't remember.
No, I think it was early in the year.
I think it was early in the year too. But even if it was, it doesn't matter. The point is, look at that fight. I mean, you got to be kidding me. And
yeah, I mean, really, come on. I know Kovalev took a round or two off, like the 7th and 8th rounds or whatever, 9th and 10th rounds. But, I mean, come on. That ring generalship was Kovalev. The power punches were Kovalev. I mean, so what did Ward win? He looked slick. He threw some good counters, but...
And he tied him up a lot.
Yeah, but it was... Nah.
And I think that's a big problem in boxing. And UFC's managed to get it right. Well, there's more stoppages.
They've been having some issues
when they come to New York, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Because of the New York judging.
They've had a lot of trouble in New York.
Yeah.
That's why they got lucky. The last UFC card I was at in New York, there was all knocked out submissions and knockouts.
Yeah. And even Dana White said something like, I don't know if I ever want to come back to New York.
But in a way, I think boxing does this on purpose. I think boxing wants the fighters in their head to almost don't rely on the judges, so they go for knockouts and make the fights more exciting. Because you hear these guys get in the ring, I know what. Come on.
They say it, yeah.
They got it. I know I got to knock him out.
Triple G said it. I have to knock him out.
I have to knock him out. Triple G even said if he goes... Well, actually, I think if he wants to fight him in Mexico, I actually think Triple G would have more fans.
Can you imagine? I was thinking the same thing.
But
can you imagine
he wants to do
fight?
that. He said he wants to go to Mexico and fight him there.
Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. It'd be crazy.
How come they don't have big fights? I got a question
Mexico,
to you.
yeah.
How come they don't have big fights in Mexico?
I don't know. It's a good point. They all come here.
Are they all? Is it because somebody told me it's because they're all outdoor stadiums and the altitude's really high?
Yeah, I know. In Mexico City, it would be really weird.
And that the temperature's not trusting.
Yeah, but I mean, you're right. It's like it's such a boxing hungry country.
Really, and it's not like you're going to the Ukraine, because we know we love Ukrainian fighters. We like Kazakhstan fighters. You're not going to go to Kazakhstan for Ward Kovalev 3, but you're not going to do that. But Mexico's got a media market.
That's true. Yeah,
they have their networks. They've
Why
got
isn't
Univision.
Canelo fight in?
I don't know.
Guadalajara. I'm sure there's an indoor arena.
Maybe because, shame to say it on boxing, but maybe they don't think the fans would pay $500 a ticket or $1,000 a ticket, and they'd have to lower the ticket prices, and that's not right either.
That's true.
Because now you're depriving a country that's not, I'm not going to say created the sport, but changed the sport, because Americans been running in the ring for a long time. It's not Mayweather that started. Go watch Willie Pep videos.
Yeah,
he was one of the greatest fighters of all time. But Mexican changed the style of boxing. They made it a pure combat sport.
Right.
When they infused Mexican fighters into boxing, they boxed. Americans started out as brawlers.
Yeah.
Just brawlers, not boxers.
You're right.
Back like Jack Johnson. They could fight, absolutely. Big, strong guys.
Yeah.
Then Americans learned defense. And they kind of became, with the exception of the heavyweight weight class, boring, in my opinion. And then Mexican fighters infused that style in, started winning, and everybody said, wow, maybe we should fight like this now. And then the Ukrainians and the Russians and all that, the bloc has adopted that style. So, but I think it comes down to dollars and cents.
Yeah.
I don't think that they would think, and it's shameful for them to think that, but I don't, they're probably sitting there going, well, we're not going to get $1,000 a ticket in Mexico, and that's horrible. Horrible.
You're right.
They should
it's
have
horrible.
boxing there, man. They should.
It's horrible because can you imagine?
Canelo should want to do that. That's what's pissing me off about people like Canelo. He should want to fight in Mexico.
Right. You think he'd
Estrada loves Mexico and says, I'll fight there all the time. I would love to fight in Mexico. Canelo wants to fight in Texas, in the Cowboys Stadium, and he wants to fight in the arena they built for him in Vegas. Little ginger bastard. I hope Charlo takes his head
By the way,
off.
you know what? 2018 is going to be the year of the Charlos in the middleweight division, unless they can't get a fight. And
yes. Well, one of them's a middleweight.
I think the middleweight Charlo could beat Triple G and Canelo.
Me too. I think he's too fast for both of them.
Stronger.
Counterpuncher from hell. That's Jamal. I like Jamal. I like Jamel after that card. That 154 class too. That card that was on was fabulous with Jarrett Hurd, Lara, and that Charlo too. That Charlo could dominate. That's my dream. My dream is for these guys that we talk about to be able to fight the guys that everyone else talks about.
Right.
Like, why does nobody talk Charlo Canelo? It's
other than the Charlos.
Other than the Charlos, who called him out since 2014.
The writers, the media, and the nobody talks about
like
that
the
fight.
moment a Canelo fight's over, the next thing is, well, maybe he'll rematch, Golovkin, or maybe he'll go, and it's always Cotto, and it's like, come on, man.
Right.
These others gonna take these guys, man. Take a Charlo, man.
Can you imagine?
That's real fights. I know, and the Canelo diehards don't understand who Charlo is because Jim Lampley doesn't talk about them.
Right.
And that's the problem. You got the Showtime HBO separation is annoying.
Yeah.
Because Showtime will say, wow, Charlo looked great. Next up for him could be the big name like Canelo. Could be this. They go right and they say everybody.
Right.
You tune into HBO, you would never even know there is a fighter named Jamal Charlo in the weight class.
Point. Can you imagine if Lampley said, well, Canelo looked good, but I don't know, what his chances look like against Charlo. He'd probably have his phone ringing from Bernard Hopkins or Oscar like, what did you say?
Why are you mentioning Charlo?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Seriously. It's
or if they call a Charlo fight, you notice they have to call out Cinnamon.
Yeah, that's why I like Paulie, man. Love Paulie Malignaggi, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in a while.
He
do a
says
fight.
right after the fight, right after all those fights on that card, he's like, I'd like to see one of these guys in the next fight, not necessarily fight all the other guys on that card, but how about we bring Andrade into the mix? How about we bring Canelo into the mix? He talks about it, and Showtime didn't shut him down. You know, they didn't shut him down. Hey, you're right. HBO would pull the plug. It would suddenly you'd see the static on the TV, and they'd be like, "This broadcast has been interrupted for mentioning a Showtime fighter." That's basically what it is.
Anyway,
The complete nonsense of HBO.
HBO.
I just want to let everybody know we went through 2017, and I still don't know who the hell Morgan Fitch is.
We talk about
I'm waiting
more
2
than
years.
anybody else does.
Yeah, I'm waiting 2 years for this the strangest moment in boxing when Roy Jones brought up Morgan Fitch.
That was
And was that Canelo fight? It was a Triple G
Triple
fight.
G
Yeah.
fight. Well, there's one guy.
Well, there is one guy that I think could beat Triple G. Morgan Fitch. Lampley himself was like, I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who is that.
You and I were like, what?
I'm waiting. He has a loss since then.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I got to tell you,
Morgan Fitch.
we watch a lot of videos online. A lot of people ask other athletes who your favorite fighters are. And you know who's always in their top three?
Manny Pacquiao.
Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, me too, man. I love Roy
Yeah.
Jones in his prime.
Yeah.
I want Roy Jones to be able to remember his prime.
Yeah.
So I want Roy Jones to,
And the comments are always that.
yeah, he needs to stop. Stop fighting, Roy.
All right.
I don't even think there is a Morgan Fitch.
Yeah, he's somewhere in Pennsylvania. All right, Knucklehead Nation. Thanks for the love and support online. I'm Joey El Gallo, or El Deek. And I'm here with Tommy the Genie.
The Deke.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.